Welcome to this edition of SAU Weekly, your source for the latest news in sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Nick Zepeda.
And I'm Lily Reed.
This week, meals on campus were moved officially to the Rogalski Center to make way for the renovation of the Cosgrove Cafeteria. And although the ballroom wasn't utilized as planned, SAU's food service still made the best of the transition. SAU Weekly's Jacob Moisa has more.
Many students are eager to see what the new CAF will look like next year.
I'm excited for just them to be adding the TVs and stuff. It'll be a nice place to just sit there and eat.
With new food options coming, students are excited to see a much-needed change.
I'm excited it's going to be bigger. It looks like it'll be more comfortable, and new food options is going to be great.
Well, some think the combination of the food court and CAF are great. Some have other thoughts.
I like it separated. I think when they're together, it's a lot busier in both places because people who want Rogo and people who want the CAF are both at the same place.
The remodeling of the new CAF will be completed by the start of next year. With SAU TV, I'm Jacob Moisa.
Thanks, Jacob. The renovation is still on track to be completed by the beginning of the next school year.
For more than a decade, Dance Marathon has been the biggest student-run fundraiser at SAU. And while participation may fluctuate year to year, the fundraising efforts remain strong. SAU Weekly's Sydney Horseman explains.
Dance Marathon celebrated its 12th year raising money through Stead Family Children's Hospital at the Rogalski Center Ballroom. Through its final fundraiser of the year, members of Dance Marathon, Miracle Families, and volunteers gathered together for 13.1 hours. Every hour, Dance Marathon's unique morale dance invites everyone to stop and let loose while the donations increase. Behind the cheers and chants, all dancers join each year with a new purpose.
This year we've been funding for the Food for Families program, so that means that a $12 voucher is feeding a family for a day. So that is one family that is one extra stressor that is taken off of their plate. They're already going through one of the toughest parts of their lives with their kiddos fighting whatever battle it may be in the hospital, and just making sure that they don't have to go one day being hungry, being able to focus on staying in the facility, in the building with their child, being able to just go downstairs and get something to eat.
For some, joining Dance Marathon was because of others.
Andrea Adams, she was one of my teammates from freshman year. She brought me in that year for a big event mainly, and I really liked it.
Dance Marathon has created many relationships that can last a lifetime, although the number of dancers has decreased for the last 6 years.
I'd have gone that extra mile, but I would be lying if I said I didn't feel the fate here at Dance Marathon.
Last year, Dance Marathon had a total of 250 dancers, while in 2024, there was a total of 180. This is the lowest number in Dance Marathon history. Yet, SAU had raised almost the same amount of money as they did in 2021 when there was over 520 dancers. Despite the decrease in dancers over the years, the organization has increased in Miracle Families. This year, the Rogalski Center welcomed 58 families, the highest ever. 2024 Dance Marathon raised over $192,000, creating over 16,000 meal vouchers for families in the hospital. The day was full of tears of joy and reflection. In the end, SAU Dance Marathon continues to change lives. For SAU The Buzz, I'm Sydney Horseman.
To learn more about Dance Marathon and how to get involved next year, go to saudm.org.
On Wednesday, the Campus Activities Board hosted a Rally for Reed blood drive in the Rogalski Center Ballroom. The drive was held in memory of Reed Gleason, who received multiple blood transfusions during his treatments. Students were donating blood all throughout the day for a good cause. Impact Life says blood donations are always needed, but especially in the weeks leading up to summer.
So the reason I donate blood is because I've been blessed where I have good health, and I'm a universal donor, meaning I can donate to anyone. And if I have the opportunity to be able to help someone's life, why not do it?
It is so important for us to collect blood and have blood donations because when tragedy strikes or when accidents happen, that blood already needs to be on hospital shelves ready for those patients. We can't go out and collect it after the fact. So hosting drives like this one at Rally for Reed on St. Ambrose's campus is so important, especially as we head into summer, as there might be more accidents, less folks coming in to donate blood than normal. So it's really important that we have those donations come in.
The Campus Activities Board wants to thank everyone who donated for their generosity. They plan to have Impact Life back in the fall for more blood drives.
Ready? I'm ready. That was a little harder on the nose than I was hoping, but I think we're okay. I don't think it broke.
This past Wednesday, sophomores at SAU had a chance to celebrate another year completed at the annual Halfway to Graduation event. The event had food, prizes, and opportunities to pie some RAs in the face. The event was also a chance to reflect on their college journey so far.
It feels like a dream, honestly. It goes by so quick. It feels like yesterday I was just my first day on campus, but it's been fun ever since I've been here. I'm glad I came to Ambrose. It's a great community here, and especially to be involved with the sport here. We got a nice little family in the wrestling room, so I really enjoy it.
It feels super awesome. I feel very blessed today to have won this award by my peers. I feel like it's an absolute blessing to be here, and I'm incredibly excited to see what is going to come next for us. So, stingers up, go Bees, and let's make it to graduation. We're halfway there. Let's go.
Although finals week is still to come, students who were happy to take a break from studying and projects and enjoy themselves before they depart for summer.
The Counseling Center once again partnered with the Quad Cities Canine Assistance Network to bring back therapy dogs on campus, just in time as students have been preparing for a busy finals week. It's been an ongoing tradition that the center holds each semester to give everybody a much-needed break from their studies.
We've seen in the library during finals week, the kids who come and just, and they all say, oh my gosh, I can't believe how much this is helping me. And they all talk about their dogs at home, and you can just see the stress melt off of them. Of course, there's also the other thing where they're like, I should be studying, but I don't want to leave the dogs, so maybe defeats the purpose a little.
Everyone's stressed, because it's finals week is coming up, and it definitely helps to just pet, a friend out here. So.
And don't worry, if you didn't get a chance to hang out with these furry friends, you can catch them again this coming Sunday and Monday at the library from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Coming up next on SAU Weekly, Stronger Together, a big announcement from St. Ambrose and Mount Mercy University.
SAU Weekly's Dave DeGenti sits down with Provost and VP of Academic Affairs, Joe Roidt, to discuss the partnership ahead for both universities. We'll be right back.
It's finals exam week here at St. Ambrose University. The study crunch is on. Students across campus are feeling pressure. The library and computer center have been busy with students preparing for the close of another term. Librarians at SAU say, however, that the library isn't as busy as you'd expect with the warm weather. Students find more pleasant surroundings to study. Some students agree that it is difficult inside the library studying.
A lot more distractions. During your free time, you'd rather go sit in the park, enjoy the weather, or go to a bar and have a good time than be stuck in the library or in a classroom studying.
It may be more difficult to study this time of year for students. However, relief will come in just a few days.
On Monday, a joint agreement was announced between St. Ambrose and Mount Mercy University, which will lead to more opportunities for undergraduate and graduate students at both campuses.
And this week's What's the Buzz, SAU Weekly's Dave DeGenti has more on this ongoing partnership.
Thanks, guys. Joining us now is Dr. Joe Roidt, Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs here at SAU. Thanks for being here, Dr. Roidt.
My pleasure.
Walk me through this partnership between SAU and Mount Mercy. What can we expect from this collaboration?
Wow, that's quite the question. So right now, we've basically agreed to two things with Mount Mercy, right? The first thing is that beginning in fall of 2024, we will enter into a fairly robust course sharing agreement with them, right? And what that means is that, to start at least, We'll be making some of the courses we have available here available to Mount Mercy students and vice versa. It won't mean that students will just have a pick of all the courses that both institutions offer. We're trying to build capacity in this space, but students will be able to enroll in some courses at Mount Mercy campus, or Mount Mercy students will be able to enroll in some courses here. Beyond that, we're in the process of finalizing an agreement that will sort of provide a comprehensive package of pathways from undergraduate degrees into graduate programs. So right now, St. Ambrose students, if they meet certain criteria, they can enter some of our graduate healthcare programs after they've completed 3 years here. What this agreement will do is essentially will extend some of those same opportunities to Mount Mercy students. And Mount Mercy has a portfolio of graduate programs that we don't have. So they have a Master's of Nursing, they have a Master's of Marriage and Family Therapy Counseling. And so we're looking to have them develop those same sort of pathways into their graduate programs that would be available to St. Ambrose students.
Okay, so trying to have students kind of get the best of both worlds.
Ideally, yes. And then beyond that, we are exploring what would be a more extensive strategic combination, right? That has not been finalized yet, and there's still a lot of work to do. But were that to come to fruition, then we'd actually be looking at more of a full merger of the institutions over time. And even if we were to elect to move to that space, that's something that still, because of regulatory and accreditation regulations, would still be something that wouldn't come to fruition for at least another 2 years.
Okay. So aside from that, what are some of the goals or benefits of collaborating with Mount Mercy?
Well, I think, I mentioned the graduate programs, but one of the attractive things there is that we really do have complementary programs for the most part. And so we're not sort of competing with one another, but we have that opportunity potentially for us at some point in time to offer some of our graduate programs on their campus and for them to offer some of their graduate programs on our campus. So in that sense, collectively, we'd be able to expand our market share. The reality is that despite our proximity to one another, we don't have a lot of students who cross app, right? They draw the majority of their students from that the corridor that they're in, sort of the Waterloo to Iowa City corridor and west, and we draw most of our students from the Davenport area and into Illinois, right? So we haven't really been competing with one another. So if we were to come together, we don't really see a loss there. Beyond that, of course, we see the possibility for realizing lots of efficiencies. So if you get to the point where you can have a main office here, we'll use the example of the registrar. We could envision a point at some point where all the transcripts, right, all the grades would be run through sort of the St. Ambrose office. They'd still have a registrar's office there, but people would really be there to help students, right, and not necessarily have the responsibility of maintaining transcripts and records. And then you can extend that to offices like financial aid as well, where we could envision St. Ambrose serving as sort of the hub with services offered through Mount Mercy.
Exactly. So that's kind of the reason we chose to do it with Mount Mercy as opposed to another institution.
Well, I wouldn't say there are a lot of reasons that I don't want to say we chose Mount Mercy, but if we go back in time a little bit, over a year ago, the college presidents of the 4 Catholic universities in eastern Iowa got together and had some preliminary conversations about, collaborative opportunities, whether there be opportunities for them to share particular back office functions or benefits or things like that. And for a number of reasons, the conversation between the 4 presidents really didn't sort of pan out. But But out of that initial conversation, Dr. Todd Olson at Mount Mercy and Dr. Novak here at St. Ambrose had some subsequent conversations, and for a variety of reasons, some of these are missional, right? We're all Catholic institutions, but the sort of the mission of Mount Mercy and the ethos of the Sisters of Mercy aligns very well in a lot of ways with the mission and ethos of St. Ambrose. So there are a lot of affinities between those two schools. And in addition, it's important to understand that both schools are pretty financially and academically sound and strong, right? And that's another part of the sort of the attractive partnership here is doing this proactively right now while you know higher education is facing a lot of challenges, but entering into an arrangement like this now or exploring an arrangement like this now before one institution is really struggling is really the way to do it if you can manage that.
Okay. So the partnership is set to begin in the fall. How will we see it be implemented? Will it be in full force right away, or will it kind of be a work in progress?
It'll be a work in progress, right? As I said earlier, we can't, not every single last one of our faculty is well prepared or well equipped to sort of offer one of the courses they're teaching in a hybrid format. So we'll be looking at, one of the things we'll be looking at this summer is sort of pressure points. Where are their needs? Where does Mount Mercy have classes? Do they have a demand for classes that they're unable to offer right now? Does St. Ambrose have a demand for classes that it's not able to offer? Are there opportunities for us to sort of supplement one another's offerings there? But then also looking at the faculty who might do that. Are they equipped? Are they prepared to do that? And how do we prepare them to do that? So we don't just sort of want to open the doors and offer courses that really aren't high quality. So part of this is going to be preparing our faculty to be able to do it and do it well, and we know that'll take some time.
Okay. So as you've been meeting with the cabinets of both universities, what excites you most about this joint venture?
I think we're stepping into potentially, right? I mean, there's still a lot of things to be decided, but higher education in the United States today is coming under a lot of criticism. It is struggling, right? We're looking at a host of factors that are making higher education more challenging for the people who deliver higher education. This is probably particularly announced among independent college universities, faith-based college universities. And I think that you don't want to say this is the solution, but certainly if we're able to enter into this venture successfully, I think potentially we become sort of a model, right, in terms of how do we sustain faith-based higher ed, Catholic higher education in a compelling fashion in the current marketplace. So it's fun or exciting, I guess you could say, to contemplate being a leader in this space and an experiment that other college universities might look to in terms of how they would sustain themselves.
I see. Lots of information, lots of good information. Thanks again for being here, Dr. Roidt. Good luck with all the work ahead, and back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. Coming up next in sports, Farewell Danelle. Spirit Squad Director Danelle Langeneckert looks back at her landmark career here at SAU.
And dramatic decision. We take a closer look at the NAIA's ban on transgender athletes from women's sports.
Join SAU Weekly's Amy Krull as she takes you inside SAU athletics. Stay tuned.
Tune in to KALA and hear something different. Programming that celebrates the diversity of our listeners. We're advocates for the arts, showcasing your favorite music from around the world. We're storytellers, producing award-winning news and educational podcasts. We're dedicated sports fans, bringing you the latest Fighting Bee action from St. Ambrose University. We're a learning lab, mentoring the next generation of broadcasters and content creators. A part of your community for 5 decades. We're KALA Radio, 88.5 FM and 106.1 FM. Turn it on and turn it up.
Last month, the NAIA implemented a new policy banning transgender athletes from competing in women's sports. The decision has left an impact throughout collegiate athletics. And here at St. Ambrose, SAU Weekly's Cole Neggins has more.
On April 6th, the NAIA's Council of Presidents voted to ban transgender females from competing in women's sports. The council was led by SAU President Dr. Amy Novak. Novak did not partake in the vote, however, she did oversee the process.
There were a number of members from the 250 colleges that are represented in the NAIA who approached the Council of Presidents and asked for a review of the past policy and whether or not that past policy was sufficient given current data.
Previously, the NAIA had only prohibited transgender female athlete participation at nationals competitions. The new rules will prohibit participation for these individuals at all competitions. The council consulted numerous sources when making their decision.
One of whom was a transgender athlete, although not in the NAIA. We also had legal experts that provided guidance.
But many factors, including varied data, did not make it an easy decision.
For example, some of the data might reflect people who've had a certain form of hormone treatment and others who have a different form. And so there's just not a lot of scientific data yet on the impact of varying hormone treatments on athlete performance.
Amber Warwick is a junior member of the swimming and diving team at SAU and identifies as non-binary. Warwick is also a member of SAU's PRISM, short for Promoting Respect in Sexual Minorities. Although Warwick is not affected by the new rules, they felt the need to make their voice heard.
Everybody is biologically different. Everybody has innate advantages and disadvantages just from being born. The suicide rate for trans and non-binary individuals is extremely high, and the easiest way to lower that rate is just acceptance. So being able to participate in any activity like sports that validates them in their gender identity is the easiest way to lower that suicide rate.
Warwick believes there are many misconceptions about transgender athletes that all started inadvertently from one athlete.
The biggest fear, I think, has come with Leah Thomas in the past few years. She was a very well-known NCAA swimmer, and then in her last year of eligibility, she transitioned into female sports and competed and got very high marks in the swimming world. However, she is the only trans female person that has ever done so. Trans females have existed in sports for years and years and years, and you never heard about them, really, until these last few years when people have started pointing them out.
The Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference released a statement saying the CCAC remains steadfast in its support of equitable treatment for all student athletes, promoting inclusivity while preserving the essence of competitive sports. President Novak shared this sentiment.
I want to just sit down and have a conversation with them and really understand their perspective and perhaps help understand sort of how we reached the decision. I think these kinds of decisions are never easy. My intent is to try and be as communicative and transparent, and if they can help shape future policy, I think we need to continue to hear from their perspective. Here at St. Ambrose, incredibly respectful of the human dignity. I want to respect the human dignity of every single student, and I want to hear their concerns, and certainly those are concerns that we can continue to elevate to the Council of Presidents in the future if there's a desire or if we need to look at how do we change this or address some of the issues that they may bring to our attention.
With SAU Weekly, I'm Cole Neggin.
Thanks, Cole. SAU Athletic Director Mike Holmes has confirmed that the NAIA will rely on athletes and universities to self-report and check athlete eligibility. The new rule will go into effect in August. It has been a special season for the women's golf team. Last month, the Bees claimed their first ever CCAC Women's Golf Championship, qualifying for the NAIA National Championship. The Fighting Bees were led by Catherine Spear, who shot a 177, ending up second overall. Just behind her was Gabriela Langlos, who finished tied for third at 178. Amara Little and Alina Mendoza also finished tied for ninth. That gave Bees just enough to beat Olivet Nazarene by 4 shots to win their first title since 2010.
Well, it was so rewarding. Like that course, it's really difficult, and we pulled through. A lot of our girls really stepped up and did what they needed to do for the team.
We would automatically get a berth into the tournament, and as I expressed to them, we don't want a berth, we want to qualify. And last year, the first year, we missed it by, I think, a couple of shots. And this year, we earned it.
The Bees will host nationals for the second year in a row at the TPC Deer Run from May 14th to the 17th. The Esports team took their first ever nationals win thanks to the performance of the Rainbow Six Siege team. Going undefeated in the regular season up until finals, then losing their first game, they brought it back in the NECC National Tournament facing the same team. But this time, with everybody prepared and no issues in sight, they won in the finals of that bracket to bring home the trophy.
Going into the last map, if I remember right, Fleeg said, "Oh my God, guys, we can actually do this. Let's close this out." And that led into the very last round where everyone was talking, calming, giving the best communication they possibly have this entire semester. And that very last round when everybody just kind of erupted in the room, and that was just a moment that like kind of lasts for like 10 minutes in your mind, but was like 30 seconds in real life. So it just felt amazing for that.
I'm sicking.
You're a madman.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Esports season is completed and all gamers have time to relax and get ready for next season. The men and women's track and field teams competed in their conference meet this past weekend in Joliet. Both SAU teams placed second overall. Alex Safford and Anna Miller threw well in the shot put, placing first in their events. Alec threw 16.23 meters, while Anna put up 14.76. She was also named Outstanding Field Performer. Will Riesma ran the 400 meter in 54.07 seconds, placing first. The women's 4x400 team placed first as well, led by indoor season All-American Gabby Butler. In pole vault, Kate Cerwillo had the highest vault at 3.30 meters. Then it was Caitlin Konecki who would place first in the 3,000 meter steeplechase. Following their win in the opening round of CCAC tournament, the baseball team made a solid run. The Bats were hot in their must-win quarterfinal against Trinity Christian. The Bees won 17-9 to advance to the semifinals. They faced Olivet Nazarene in the semifinal game, another high-scoring affair. A big game for Adrian Zatara, who had 4 hits and 2 RBIs. 3 home runs that game as well, 1 from Brandon Matthias and 2 from Joey Fitzgerald. The Bees ended up using 5 pitchers in the game. Nathaniel Johnson got the win, throwing 3 scoreless innings. Parker Ruth shut the door in the 9th inning, striking out the last batter to send the Bees to the championship. Unfortunately, the Bees would fall in the championship against a tough St. Francis team. The final in that one was 4-0. After building one of the most successful programs that St. Ambrose Athletics has ever seen, Spirit Squad Director Danelle Langeneckert has decided to step away. SAU Weekly's Lillian Reed sat down with Coach Langeneckert to reflect on her accomplishments.
You know what I said earlier when we were upstairs? We put in all of this work before we got here, okay, so that you can enjoy today and you can enjoy this moment.
For Danelle Langeneckert, coaching at the collegiate level wasn't necessarily the goal. But when she found St. Ambrose, it was the perfect place at the perfect time.
I moved back to this area, the job was available, and I just felt that I would like to get back into coaching, and so Ambrose was kind of, it was a timing thing. And I think once I was here, it was, coaching, dance, cheer, it's always been a passion of mine. But I think, it all kind of fell into place.
Langeneckert initially took over as the head coach of the dance squad, winning a pair of national championships in 2015 and 2016.
And with a score of 112.56 and good for first place, St. Ambrose University.
but it wasn't long before she wanted to push for more.
We had built dance to the type of program that we wanted to see it be within the NAIA, and I think, you know, it was definitely something that I wanted to also see happen for cheer. There was so much that the two teams did together that when that job became available, it was a natural step because I do have a background in cheer as well. And to be honest with you, it just reinvigorated that passion for coaching, and it really kind of brought just a breath of fresh air to everything that we had been doing already here at Ambrose.
Never. Your hearts are in the right place. You're exactly where you need to be.
And again, success soon followed.
I always kind of put it in perspective of, you know, it's like your two babies, right? You know, and you see success with one, you want that for the other program too. So being able to now do 2023 and 2024 back-to-back national championships in both programs has been very fulfilling.
While she was building a successful program, Coach Langeneckert was also raising a family. As it was getting harder to juggle both schedules, it was time to make a decision.
I don't think it's not coaching that made me step away. It's just the stage of life that I'm in and with our family. And, you know, they're at an age where they are very busy in the evenings and those evening hours, and the weekends are incredibly precious to us. And I think it's more, you know, just not being able to allocate the time when needed. And so when push came to shove, I mean, this just seemed like the best decision for right now.
Well, it's goodbye for now. It may not be forever.
Well, you never say never. One thing I can honestly say is I never got to a point where I felt burnout. I had fun every second. You know, it's definitely a passion. It still is. So, you know, never say never.
For SAU Weekly, I'm Lily Reed.
Thanks, Lils, and thank you, Danelle. That'll do it for Inside SAU Athletics. I'm Annie Krull.
And that's all we have on this week's edition of SAU Weekly. We'll be back next term with the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University.
Remember to check out the SAU TV, Facebook, and Instagram pages for our newscast, top stories, and more. You can also find them on the Hive at sauthebuzz.com. Thanks for watching.
We'll leave you with one final edition of Annie on Campus. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Annie back with Annie on Campus, and today we'll be talking to the seniors about what their plans are after college and if they have any words of wisdom for the underclassmen. What are your plans after senior year?
I'm going to get my certificate in personal training, and then I'm going to possibly work for a YMCA as a personal trainer, as a fitness coach.
I'm going to go into the police academy.
I signed to work at Carver Pump in Muscatine, Iowa. I'm going to be a mechanical engineer designer.
I have a job lined up at 605 Main Street.
And what do you do there?
I'm going to be a residential officer.
I am starting occupational therapy school here in the fall.
Okay, awesome. And what are some words of wisdom you have for the underclassmen?
Definitely get involved, but also put your academics first. Probably just learn to manage your time and balance life and school.
Do you have any words of wisdom you could give to the underclassmen?
Graduate.
Go to class, do your homework.
Just be involved with as much as you can be. Enjoy your time here. It goes really, really fast.
I'd say definitely learn how to balance work with relaxation.
I know class is boring, but it's pretty helpful, so I'd say you should go.
Good, thank you so much.
Yeah.